Let's get one thing straight. Marley is dead as a doornail.
Scrooge himself even signed a death certificate.
Scrooge and Marley were business partners for many years.
As I was saying, Marley is dead. Positively dead. This must be completely understood, or nothing magical can come from this story we are about to relate.
Our story opens on Christmas Eve in Scrooge's counting house. The clerk is desperately trying to warm himself by the fire. Although rich, Scrooge would never waste money, even on himself.
A Merry Christmas, Uncle. God save you.
Sorry. Humbug.
A humbug, Uncle? You don't mean that, I'm sure.
I certainly do. Merry Christmas. What right has to be merry? You're poor enough.
Don't be cross, Uncle.
What else can I be? I live in the world of fools. Merry Christmas. Christmas is just a time for paying bills without money. A time for finding yourself a year older, but not an hour richer. If it was up to me, every fool who goes with Merry Christmas on his lips would be boiled with his own pudding and buried at a stake of holly through his heart.
Uncle!
Nephew, keep your Christmas in your way, and let me keep it in mine.
Keep it, but you don't keep it.
Let me leave it alone, then. It doesn't do you much good either.
There are many things that I deem good but not profitable, I dare say. Christmas is a sacred time. It is a time for charity, forgiveness, and pleasure. It is the only time of year that people put others before themselves. Therefore, Uncle, even though it has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, I believe that it has done me good, will do me good, and I say God bless it.
Let me hear another sound from you, and you'll keep your Christmas by losing your situation. You're quite a powerful speaker, sir. I wonder you didn't go into Parliament.
Don't be angry, Uncle. Come dine with us tomorrow.
Why? And why did you even get married?
Nay, Uncle, but you never came to see me before I got married. Why give it a reason for not coming now?
Good afternoon.
And Happy New Year!
Good afternoon.
A Merry Christmas to you and your lovely family.
And a Merry Christmas to you as well.
That's another fellow, my clerk, with 15 shillings a week, and a wife and a family talking about Christmas.
Scrooge and Marley's, I believe. Do I have the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Mr. Marley has been dead these 7 years. In fact, he died 7 years ago this very night.
We have no doubt that his liberality is well represented by his surviving partner. At this festive time of year, it is more than usual desirable that we should make some provisions for the poor and destitute who suffer greatly at this present time.
Yes, many thousands are in want of common necessities. Hundreds of thousands are in want of common comforts, sir.
Are there no prisons?
Plenty of prisons.
And the union workhouses, are they still in operation?
They are, still, I wish I could say they weren't.
The treadmill and the poll law are in full vigor, right? Yes.
Both very busy, sir.
Oh, I was so afraid from what you said at first that something had occurred to stop them from their useful course. I'm very glad to hear it.
We are collecting money to buy the poor some meat, drink, and means of warmth. What shall I put you down for?
Nothing.
You wish to remain anonymous?
I wish to be left alone. Since you asked me what I wish, that's my answer. I do not make merry myself at Christmas, and I can't afford to make idle people merry. I hope to support the establishments I mentioned. They cost enough, and those who are badly off must go there.
Many can't go there. They would rather die.
If they would rather die, they had better do it and decrease the surplus population. It is enough for a man to understand his own business and not to interfere with other people's. Mine occupies me constantly. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Finally, it was time to close the shop.
Scrooge jumped off of his stool, and Mr. Cratchit blew out his candle and put on his hat.
You want all day tomorrow, I suppose.
It's quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient, and it's not fair. If I didn't pay you for the day, you would think yourself ill-used. And yeah, you don't think I'm ill-used when I pay a day's wages for no work.
But it's only once a year, sir.
That's a poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. But since you'll be absent the whole day, make sure you are all earlier the next morning.
Scrooge left the counting house with a growl and began walking home in the bitter cold.
Scrooge ate his dinner in his usual melancholy tavern.
Scrooge enjoyed his dinner. But he did not want to pay for it.
On his way home, he stopped to listen to some canvas.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round young virgin, mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace.
Humbug.
He walked to his large yet broken down and weary home.
As he approached his door knocker, a strange phenomenon occurred.
Morley's face is burned on a door knocker. Boo-hoo! It's just my imagination playing tricks on me. I'm going to go inside, get changed into my nightgown, and take my growth by the fire.
He walked upstairs and he looked around his fireplace. All of a sudden, he was surrounded with dozens of pictures of Marley's head.
Humbug!
All of the bells around the house started ringing.
And the sound of someone dragging chains came from the stairs.
It's humbug still. I won't believe it. It's a ghost! He's dragging dozens of heavy chains. How now? What do you want from me?
Much.
Who are you?
Ask me who I was.
Who were you then?
Sorry. In my life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
Can you sit down?
I can.
Do it then.
You don't believe in me?
I don't.
What evidence do you have in my reality beyond that of your senses?
I don't know.
There's a lot you don't know.
You're a regular comedian. Please continue.
Why do you doubt your senses?
Because a little thing affects them. A slight disorder of the stomach makes them cheats. You may be an undigested bit of beef, a blot of mustard, a crumb of cheese, a fragment of an underdone potato. There's more gravy than grave about you, whatever you are.
Now you're trying to be funny.
Do you see this toothpick?
I do.
You're not looking at it.
But I can still see it.
Am I going to be persecuted by a legion of goblins all my whole life?
Just then, the Imperiation screamed at the top of his lungs, and that rattled his huge chains.
Then he pulled off his bandage that was around his head and lowered his lower jaw, dropped down and banged off of his chest.
Mercy! Dreadful appreciation. Why do you trouble me?
Man of mine, do you believe in me or not?
I do. I must. But why do spirits walk the earth, and why do they come to me?
It is required of every man that the spirit within him should walk abroad among his fellow men and travel far and wide. And if that spirit does not go forth in life, then it is condemned to do so after death.
Why are you in chains?
I wear the chain I forged in life. I made it link by link and yard by yard.
Jacob, please speak comfort to me.
I cannot. You have been living on this earth 7 more years than I. Your chain is longer by far.
But we have always been good men of business. Doesn't that count?
Business. Mankind should have been our business. Charity and mercy should have been our business. The dealings of our trade are but a drop of water in the comprehensive ocean of our business.
But what is your purpose here now?
I am here tonight to warn you that you have yet a chance of hope of escaping my fate and a chance of hope of making Ebenezer.
You were always a good friend to me, Jacob. Thank you.
You will be haunted by these spirits.
Is that the change in hope you mentioned?
It is.
I think I'd rather not.
Without their visits, you cannot hope to skip the path I follow. Expect the first tomorrow when the bell tolls 1.
Couldn't I take them all at once and have it over, Jacob?
Expect the second on the next night at the same hour. The third upon the next night, when the last stroke of 12 has ceased to vibrate. Look to see me no more, and look that for your own sake you remember what has passed between us.
The spirit wrapped his head again and walked to the window.
The window slid open by itself, and the spirit floated through it.
Scrooge looked out of the window to see dozens and dozens of phantoms screaming in horror.
Humbug.
That being said, Scrooge went immediately to bed and fell into a deep sleep.
Scrooge woke up to the clock striking 12.
Even though he went to bed at 2 a.m. Why, it isn't possible. I didn't sleep all day into the night. The clock must be broken. I'm going back to sleep.
Swift.
Before Scrooge stood the first of the 3 spirits. It was a strange apparition. It had the body of a child and the face of an old man. Are you the spirit, sir, whose coming was foretold to me?
I am.
Who and what are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past. Long past? No, your past. Why are you here? I am here for your welfare. Rise and walk with me.
I can't go out the window. I'm immortal and liable to fall.
Hold my hand and you will fly.
The two of them fly out the window into the cool night.
Suddenly the city and the darkness vanish. Scrooge's childhood town comes into view. It is a clear, cold winter day with snow on the ground.
Good heaven! I was bred in this place. I was a boy here.
Do you recollect the way?
Remember it? I could walk it blindfold.
The school is not quite deserted. A solitary child neglected by his friends is left there.
Scrooge and the spirit come across a young boy reading a book, very much alone for the holidays.
I'm not really alone. I have Albie Baba and Robinson Crusoe and all the entire Swiss family Robinson.
Oh boy, I wish, but it's too late now. What's the matter? Nothing. There was a boy singing at my Christmas carol at my door last night. I should like to have given him something, that's all. Let us see another Christmas.
Scrooge formed herself grew larger at the words, and the room became a little darker and darker.
There he is, alone again, when all the other boys had gone home for the jolly holidays.
Just then, a young girl runs into the living room.
Dear brother, I have come to bring you home. Home.
Home, little baby?
Home for good and all. Home forever and ever. Father is so much kinder than he used to be. And home's like heaven. He spoke so gently to me one dear night when I was going to bed that I was not afraid to ask him once more if you might come home. And he said, yes, you should. And he sent me in the coach to bring you. Always a delicate creature, whom a breath might have withered, but she had a large heart.
So she had. You're right. I will not gainsay it. Spirit, God forbid.
She died a woman and had, as I think, children.
One child.
True, that would be your nephew Fred, your loving sister's son.
Yes, I saw him yesterday.
Took Scrooge right around town. He stopped at a familiar building and asked if Scrooge knew it.
No, I was purchased here.
Then they went in. They saw an old gentleman in a wellish wig sitting behind a desk so high that if he had been 2 inches taller, he would have knocked his head against the ceiling. Scrooge cried in great excitement.
Why, it's old Fezziwig. Bless his heart. It's Fezziwig alive again.
Go home, there's no more work tonight. It's Christmas Eve. Let's have ourselves a party.
The evening was filled with dancing and laughter.
Oh my gosh!
Everyone had a wonderful time and were so very grateful to Fezziwig for his hospitality.
I wonder at everyone's happiness. It is such a small matter throwing a party for your employees. Small? Is it not? He has spent but a few pounds of your mortal money, 3 or 4 perhaps. Is that so much that he deserves this praise?
It isn't that, Spirit. He has the power to render us happy or unhappy, to make our service light or burdensome. With pleasure, toil. The happiness he gives is quite as great as it costs a fortune.
Didn't you have the same opportunity to spread good cheer with your own employees?
Yeah, you're right. I should like to be able to say a word or two to my clerk just now.
My time is running short. I have one final vision for you. Again, Scrooge saw himself. He was older now, a man in the prime of life. His face had not the harsh and rigid lines of his later years.
He was not alone, but sat by the side of a fair young girl whose eyes were full of tears.
Another idol has replaced me, and if it can cheer and comfort you in time to come, as I would have tried to, I have no just cause to grieve.
What idol has displaced you?
A golden one.
You don't understand. Nothing is worse for property. I'm not being criticized for trying to keep it at bay.
You fear the world too much. I have seen your nobler aspirations fall off one by one until the master passion gains and grasps you. Have I not?
Even I have grown so much wiser of it. I'm not changed towards you.
Our contract is an old one. It was made when we were both poor and content to be so. You are changed. When it was made, you were another man. I can release you now.
Have I saw Louise?
In words, no.
And what then?
In a changed nature, tell me the truth. If you were free today to choose a wife, would you choose a doorless wife? You who judges everything now by gain. I release you with a full heart for the love of the man you once were. May you be happy in the life you've chosen.
No more! Show me no more! I don't wish to see anything else. Take me back. Haunt me no longer.
Suddenly, they were back in Scrooge's bedroom.
He noticed that the light on the spirit's head was burning high and bright, so he seized the cap and pushed it down on the spirit's head. Extinguishing the light, he pushed harder all the way down to the floor, and the spirit disappeared.
Exhausted, Scrooge crawled into bed and fell into a deep sleep.
Scrooge woke up with a snore.
He immediately noticed a light shining on his door coming from the living room.
Well, if he isn't coming to me, then I will go to him.
Come in and know me better, man.
Wait. I am the... Scrooge looked up to a big fellow wearing a long green robe and a golden crown.
I'm the ghost of Christmas present. Look upon me. You've never seen the likes of me before.
Never.
Have you met any of my brothers? I have 1,800 of them.
Such a large family to provide for. Spirits, conduct me wherever you will. I went forth last night on compulsion, and I learned a lesson which is working now. Tonight, if you have a desire to teach me, let me profit by it.
Touch my robe.
As Scrooge grabbed onto the robe, everything in the room vanished.
They went through the streets of London and studied the reactions between people.
When angry words sprung up, the spirit would simply sprinkle the speakers with something from his torch. And the negative words would vanish. In addition, sprinkling it on food improved the taste.
Is there a peculiar flavor in what you sprinkle from your torch?
There is my own.
Would apply to any kind of dinner on this day.
To any kindly given, to a poor one most,
Why to pour one most?
because they need it most.
The spirit and Scrooge arrived at Bob Cratchit's dwelling, and the spirit came from the house of blessing.
Mrs. Cratchit is inside with some of the numerous Cratchit children, waiting for the arrival of their father and Tiny Tim.
Right here comes Martha. Welcome, Martha dear. What a nice surprise. Father will be so happy that you don't have to work. Yes, I was so very happy they sent me home. Sit down before the fire and get warm.
No, Martha, Father's coming. Hide. We will fool him.
Okay, Peter, I'll hide in the bedroom.
Why, where's our Martha? I was hoping she would get off work early and spend this special Christmas meal with us.
Not coming.
Not coming? Not coming on Christmas Day?
Here I am, Father. I couldn't bear to see you disappointed even in best.
Oh, Martha. I'm so glad you've made it.
And how did little Tim behave in church?
Oh, good as gold and better. He gets thoughtful sitting by himself so much. He thinks the strangest things you've ever heard. He told me while coming home that he hoped that people saw him in church. He said that he was a cripple and it might be pleasant for them to remember upon Christmas Day who made lame beggars walk and blind men see.
What a wonderful child we have. He makes me so proud. Come to the table, children. Dinner is served.
Oh, Mother, you have outdid yourself. Look, it smells delicious.
I can't wait for the plum pudding.
I love chestnuts on the fire.
A Merry Christmas to us all, my dears. God bless us.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
God bless us, everyone.
Spirit, tell me if Tiny Tim will live.
I see a vacant seat in the pool chimney corner and a crutch without an owner, carefully preserved. If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die.
No, no, no! Kind Spirit, say that he will be spared.
What does it matter? If he be like to die, he had better do it and decrease the surplus population.
No, well, don't use my own words against me. I didn't know what I was saying. Didn't know it would be Tiny Tim.
It's not up to you who will live and who will die. It may be that in the sight of heaven, you are more worthless and less fit to live than millions like this poor man's child.
To Scrooge, the founder of the feast.
The founder of our feast, indeed. I wish I had had him here, I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast upon, and I hope he'd have a good appetite for it.
My dear, the children, it's Christmas Day.
It should be Christmas Day, I'm sure, on which one drinks of the health of such an odious, stingy, unfeeling man as Mr. Scrooge. You know he is, Robert. Nobody knows it better than you. Poor fellow.
My dear, it's Christmas Day.
I'll drink for his health, for your sake, and the day's, not for his. Long life to him, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. He'll be very merry and very happy, I have no doubt.
Come, we have another visit to make.
Scrooge and the spirit arrived at nephew Fred's house.
Ha ha, he said that Christmas was a humbug. I'm gonna live. I believe it too.
More shame for him, Fred.
He's a comical old fellow, that's the truth, and not so pleasant as you might say, be. However, his offenses carry their own punishment, and I have nothing to say against it.
I'm sure he's very rich, Fred. At least you always tell me so.
What of that, my dear? His wealth is of no use to him. He doesn't get any good with it. He doesn't make himself comfortable with it. He hasn't the satisfaction of thinking, ha ha ha, that he is ever going to benefit us with it.
I have no patience for him.
Oh, I have. I'm sorry for him. I couldn't be angry with him if I tried. Who suffers by his ill whims? Himself, always. Here, he takes it into his head to dislike us, and he won't come and dine with us. What's the consequence? He loses out on a great dinner.
Everyone finishes up their dinner and then plays a variety of games.
Look, Spirit, it's a new game.
We can't stay. My time is running short.
Our Spirit's life is so short.
My life upon this globe is very short. It ends tonight.
Tonight?
Tonight at midnight. Hark, the time is drawing near.
Forgive me if I'm not justified in what I ask. But I see something strange and not belonging to yourself, protruding from your skirts. Is it a foot or a claw?
It might be a claw, for the lack of flesh there is upon it. Look here.
Are they yours, Spirit?
They belong to all of mankind. This boy is ignorance, this girl is want.
Have they no refuge or resource?
Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses?
No, don't use my own words against me, please.
The bell struck 12.
Scrooge looked about him for the ghost and saw it not. As the last stroke ceased to vibrate, he remembered the prediction of old Jacob Marley, and lifting up his eyes, beheld the sullen phantom, draped and hooded, coming like a mist along the ground towards him.
The phantom slowly, gravely, silently approached. When it came near, Scrooge bent down upon his knee, for in the very air through which this spirit moved, it seemed to scatter gloom and mystery.
I am in the presence of the ghost of Christmas yet to come.
The spirit answered not, but pointed onward with his hand.
For you are about to show me shadows of the things that have not happened but will happen in the time before us. Is that so, Spirit?
The upper portion of the garment was contracted for an instant in its folds, as if the spirit had inclined his head. That was the only answer he received.
Ghost of the future, I fear you more than any spectacular I have seen. But as I know your purpose is to do good, and I hope to live to be another man from what I was. I prepare to bear your companion, and do it with a thankful heart. Will not speak to me? Lead on, the night is waning fast, and the precious time is to leave. I know, lead on, Spirit.
Scrooge followed the spirits through the town, and then they stopped to overhear a conversation.
I don't know much about it either way. I only know he's dead. When did he die?
Last night, I believe.
What? What was the matter with him? I thought he would never die. God knows. What have you done with his money?
I haven't heard. Left it to his company, perhaps.
He hasn't left it to me, that's all I know.
It's likely to be a very cheap funeral.
Upon my life.
For upon my life, I don't know of anybody to go to it. Suppose we make up a party and volunteer.
I don't mind going to it if lunch is provided, but I must be fed.
Speakers and listeners strolled away and mixed with other groups. Scrooge knew the men and looked towards the spirit for an explanation.
The phantom glided on into a street. His finger pointed to two persons meeting. Scrooge listened again, thinking that the explanation might lie there. As he looked closely, Scrooge noticed that he had done plenty of business with these men in the past.
How are you?
Well, good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Old Scratch has got his own at last, hasn't he?
So I'm told. Cold, isn't it?
Reasonable for Christmas time. You're not a skater, I suppose.
No, there's no time for that. Good morning.
Good morning to you as well.
I wonder who his old Scratch is. They didn't seem very upset about his death.
The spirit took Scrooge to a consignment shop. The owner was talking with a few customers about the goods they brought him.
Let the charwoman go first.
Some people may say I didn't have the right to take these things, but not I. Everyone has a right to take care of themselves. He always did.
That's true indeed. No man more so.
If he wanted to keep them after his death, he should have been nicer in his life. If he had been, he'd have had somebody to look after him when he was struck with death, instead of lying gasping out of his last breath alone by himself.
It is the truest words that were ever spoken. It's a judgment on him.
Open the bundle, Joe, and let me know the value of it. Speak out plain. I'm not afraid to be the first, nor afraid to let them see it. We knew pretty well that we were helping ourselves before we met here. I believe there's no sin. Open the bundle, Joe.
Okay, let's see what we got here. There's a pencil case, a pair of sleeve buttons, brooch, no great value. Here's your money. I can't give you another 6 pence. Who's next?
I'm next. I have sheets and towels and little whirlpools, 2 old-fashioned silver teaspoons, a pair of sugar tongs, and a few boots.
Here's your money. I always seem to give too much money to the ladies.
Don't forget about me.
What do you call these? Bed curtains?
Yes, they're bed curtains.
You don't mean to say you took them down, rings and all, lying there.
Yeah, I did. Why not?
You were born to make your fortune, and you certainly did. You'll certainly do it.
Don't forget about the blankets.
Are they his blankets?
Whose else do you think? He isn't likely to take a cold without one, I dare say.
I hope he didn't die of anything catchy.
Don't be afraid of that. I wouldn't have gone near him if he did. Did you see the white shirt? You may look through that shirt till your eyes ache, but you won't find a hole in it, nor a threadbare place. It's the best he had, and a fine one too. They'd have wasted it if it hadn't been for me.
What do you call wasting?
Putting it on him to be buried in. To be sure, somebody was fool enough to do it, but I took it off again. If calico isn't good enough for such a purpose, it isn't good enough for anything. It's quite as becoming to the body. He can't look uglier than he did in that one.
Spirit, I see. The case of this unhappy man might be my own. My life tends that way now. Merciful heaven, what is this?
He recoiled in terror, for the scene had changed, and now he had almost touched a bed, a bare, uncurtained bed, on which, beneath a ragged sheet, there lay something uncovered up, which, though it was silent,
announced itself in awful language.
Spirit, I don't want to look. You can't make me look.
This ghost pointed with an unmoved finger to the head of the body.
I understand you, and I would do it if I could, but I have not the power, Spirit. I have not the power. Let's get away from here, and then we see some tenuous connection with the dead.
The spirit and Scrooge arrived about Cratchit's house.
The noisy little Cratchits were as still as statues in one corner, and sat looking up at Peter, who had a book before him. The mother and her daughters were engaged in sewing, but surely they were very quiet.
I'm sorry. I am so sorry I'm late getting home.
You in today, then?
Yes, my dear, I wish you could have gone. It would have done you good to see how green a place it would be. But you'll see it often. I promised him that I would walk there on every Sunday. My little child.
He broke down all at once. He couldn't help it.
No, my dears, that when we reflect how patient and how mild he was, although he was a little child, we shall not fall easy among ourselves and forget poor tiny Tim in doing it.
No, never, Father.
No, never, Father. No.
Spectacular. Something informs me that our parenting moment is at the end. I know, but I know not how. Tell me what man that was when we was already dead.
The spirit brought Scrooge to a graveyard. They stood at the front of a freshly dug grave.
Before drawing near to that stone which you pointed, answer me one question. Are these shadows of things that will be, or are they shadows of things that may be?
The ghost pointed downward to the grave by which it stood.
Men's course before shadows certain and to end if preserving, they must flee before if the shadows come close to perform the end will change said and thus for what you show me.
The spirit was immovable as ever.
Scrooge crept towards it, trembling as he went, following his finger. He read upon the stone the neglected grave of his own name.
Ebenezer Scrooge, am I the man who laid upon the bed?
The finger pointed from the grave to him and back again.
No spirit, oh no.
The finger was still there.
Spirit, hear me, I am not the man I was. I will not be the man I must have been. Why shall we this ignoring the past of all hope?
For the first time, the hand appeared to shake.
Good spirit, a natural intercedes for me and cares for me. Assert that I yet may change the shadow you have shown me by eternal life.
The kind hand trembled.
I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the years. I will live in the past, present, and future. The spirit of all things that strive to fit me. I will not shut out the lessons they teach me, but I'll tell them, start away the writing on the stone.
His agony, he caught the spectacular hand. It sought to free itself, but he was strong in grip and detained it. The spirit, yet stronger yet, pushed him away.
Holding up his hand, the last prayer to have his fate, he saw the alteration and the phantom's hood and dress. It shrunk, collapsed, and dwindled down to a bedpost.
Yes, the bedpost was his own, the bed was his own, and the room was his own. Best and happiest of all, the time before him was his own, to make amends in.
I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The spirits of all three shall strive within me. O Jacob Marley, heaven and Christmas time be praised for this. I say it on my knees, O Jacob, on my knees. They're not torn down. They're not torn down, rings and all. They are are here. I am here. The shadows of the things that would have been, my dispel, they will be. I know they will.
Scrooge looks out the window and spots a boy.
What day is today?
Eh?
What day is today, fine fellow?
Today? Why, it's Christmas Day.
It's Christmas Day. I haven't missed it. The spirits have done it all in one night. They can do anything they like. Of course they can. Of course they can. Hello, my fine fellow.
Hello.
Do you know the Poulters in the next street but one at the corner?
I sure hope I do.
An intelligent boy, a remarkable boy. Do you know whether they sold the prize turkey that was hanging up there? Not the little prize turkey, but the big one.
The one as big as me?
What a delightful boy. It's a pleasure to talk to him. Yes, my buck.
It's hanging there now.
Is it? Go and buy it.
Are you serious?
I am earnest. Go and buy it. And tell them to bring it here. That I may give it them the direction where to take it. Come back with the man, and I'll give you a shilling. Come back with him in less than 5 minutes, and I'll give you half a crown.
The boy was off like a shot.
I'll send it to Bob Cratchit's house. He won't know who sent it. It's twice the size of Tiny Tim. Joe Miller never paid such a joy.
Scrooge went downstairs as the boy arrived with the poulter and the turkey.
Why, it's impossible to carry that to Camden Town. You must have a cab.
Scrooge paid the cab for them, and they were on their way. Scrooge got dressed in his best and then started walking down the street. Up ahead, he spotted a familiar gentleman.
Dear sir, how do you do? I hope you succeeded yesterday. It was very kind of you. A Merry Christmas to you, sir.
Mr. Scrooge?
Yes, that is my name, and I fear it may not be pleasant to you. Allow me to ask your pardon, and will you have the goodness of accepting my bag of gold?
Lord bless me, my dear Scrooge. Are you serious?
If you please, nothing farther, farthing less. A great many back payments are included in it, I assure you.
Thank you so very much for your kindness.
You are welcome. Do come see me in the future.
Scrooge went to church and then walked around the streets for a while. Eventually, he came upon the house of his nephew. He knocked on the door, and the servant answered.
Is your master home, my dear?
Yes, sir.
Where is he, my love?
He's in the dining room, sir, along with his wife. I'll show you upstairs if you please.
He knows me, and I can find the way. Thank you.
Okay.
Why, bless my soul, who's that?
It's I, your Uncle Scrooge. I have come to dinner with you. Let me in, Fred.
Of course, dear uncle, you are heartily welcome.
Welcome, dear Uncle Scrooge. The afternoon was spent eating a fine dinner, playing games, and dancing. A good time was had by all. But he was early at...
My son back! Or not! Carry on the camera, What do you mean by coming here at this time of day?
I'm very sorry, sir, as I am blind of my tongue.
You are. Yes, I think you are. Step this way, sir, if you please.
It's only once a year, sir. It shall not be repeated. I was just making rather merry yesterday, sir.
Now, I'll tell you what, my friend, I'm not going to stand for this sort of things any longer. And therefore, I'm about to raise your salary.
Bob Cratchit was so surprised that he didn't know what to say.
A Merry Christmas, Bob. A merrier Christmas, Bob, my good fellow. than I have given you for many a year. I'll raise your salary and endeavor to assist your struggling family, and we will discuss your affairs this very afternoon over a Christmas bowl of soup. Make up the fires and buy another bundle of coal before you dot another I, Bob Cratchit.
Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all, and infinitely more to Tiny Tim, who did not die. He was a second father. He became as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as the good old city knew.
It was always said of him from that point forward that he knew how to keep Christmas well, more so than anyone else.
May that be truly said of us all. And so, as Tiny Tim observed,
God bless us, everyone! Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Hop, 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 bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey! We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Scrooge enjoyed his food.
I don't have to upon the bed.
I can't.
Yes, the bedpost was his own. The bed was his own. And the room.
Sit down really quietly so that like Scrooge doesn't notice that you're late, and then you start pretend working. Okay? All right.
Where are we starting?
Otherwise, it gets noisy. All right, we are going to start. Let's see. Oh yeah, but he was early at the office the next morning. Oh, he was early. Blah blah blah. Okay. Oh, and the clock struck 9. Okay, when the narrator says and the clock struck 9, I need you guys to all go dong dong dong. No. You guys have to all do it in unison.
3, 2, 1.
Dong, dong, dong.
Okay, just do it 3 times. Just do it dong dong dong, and then silence. Okay. I was recording that whole time.